Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your comics guy, and this week we are posting the extended interview with the students from the Woodlands High School Comics Club, which, if you listen to last week's episode for the Comicpalooza recap show, I posted a bit of a highlight. So the whole interview is out now, talking with three students, Ben, Ella, and Trevor, and the works that they did in the school or the club's anthology series called Collide. It's a great time. I had a blast talking with the students. It's always so much fun getting to interact with them, and the teacher who mentors slash leads the group in a way. Ben, of course, he's a fan of the show, guest of the show, convention friend of mine, and social media friend. He does such a great job of helping these students and letting them flourish and their artwork and stories really develop. And I think it's just such a great thing that he does here to help mold, or not, maybe not mold, but help guide these students into a future that could potentially lead to storytelling in comics or other forms of visual media, or just like whatever they want to do, man. Like Ben is so inspiring, and it's so great, and it's been such a blessing to know a guy like him. And like it's always a blast to see Ben at Comicpalooza or wherever. I think we've only crossed paths at Comicpalooza, but on social media we talk all the time, and it's fun. I've enjoyed his presence in my podcasting life, and just life in general has always been a blast. And seeing this and seeing what the students have done has been just another one of those amazing things that he just happens to be a part of, and getting to see them be amazing as well is just, it's phenomenal, guys. But yeah, get to talk to three students and hear their stories of convention events or happenings. And I don't want to get too much into it. I'll let the students tell you. It's just so much fun. I have a blast every year. I can't wait for next year to either potentially see these students, some of them coming back, because you'll hear us talk a little bit about it. I believe they have one more year, and then they might be back to tell their stories. Who knows? Maybe when they graduate, they'll be telling their own stories, and I'll see them at their own booths in Comicpalooza in years to come. But that, time will only tell what the future holds for these bright young students. With that being said, I don't have anything more useful to say, so let's just get on to the interview.
What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production. Comic book reviews. 50 nerd news. Heroes versus villains. All right, so I'm here today with some students from the Woodlands High School Comic Club, which is something that I've seen over the years. Ben's brought this here to Comicpalooza with so many students that go through this, and it's always been a pleasure to see you guys and see what you do and just watch the program grow. And so I have three students with me here today, and if you want, we can just get everyone's names or your cool pen name or whatever you go by.
I'm Trevor.
I'm Ben.
I'm Ellen Isnick.
It's nice to meet you all. Yeah, I don't need that mic. I got my own, but thank you. That's very polite, and I appreciate that. So, what I always like to ask, though, is, so what grade are you in, and how long have you been a part of this program?
I am currently a rising senior, so I just finished my junior year, and I've been in this program since the beginning of my sophomore year.
From your sophomore year? Nice.
Yeah, I think all of us here are rising seniors. I haven't been in this program for that long. I just started kind of like at the end of this year, but I've been with it for a few months, I think. So, yeah, it's been really fun.
I'm also a rising senior. I think I've been in this club this year and the year before, so as a sophomore.
That's really cool. So keep saying a rising senior. What does that mean to someone who was never, I guess, rising like that, or what?
I think it's just because like some people like I'll go like, oh yeah, I'm a senior because this is my junior year, and they'll be like, actually, you haven't started your senior year yet. So I just say rising senior now.
Oh, okay. I like that though. That's
Yeah.
kind of a cool way to say it. I didn't know if it was like, well, they have the AP program or advanced play. I thought that's like, oh, that's a cool way to say that. Like, you're really smart. What's going on,
It's
guys?
just kind of like a new term.
That's awesome. So, what I'm going to ask then is, what story did you do in this year's Collide Anthology?
The story that I did was I did the final page story.
The final page story?
Yeah.
All right. And do you want to tell us what it's a little bit about, or?
So it's about this guy talking to his therapist, and he's kind of like he's explaining like some like bad dreams he's been having, and it tells the story of like this guy, how like he like it's difficult to describe without like just explaining the whole thing because it's like 3 pages.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, he's talking to his therapist about like dreams he's been having and issues he's been having in those dreams.
That's fair.
And it just like, it develops and it shows you like kind of like his like what he's going through and like his like mental state.
That's really awesome. Did you do both the story and the artwork, or just?
Unfortunately, I'm not the best with artwork, so I drafted the story. I drafted a lot of paneling, and I like did like all like the dialogue and stuff like that.
Right. But you know, I think some people, and maybe I don't know how long have you been working with comics, they don't understand like drafting and writing how these panels should look. That's a whole art form in itself, right? So you got to come up with basically the idea, and then an artist will come in and try to turn that idea into a reality.
Yeah.
But they can only do what you give them like direction towards, right?
Yeah.
So you just, I think, and for me, when I first started reading comics, I always thought, oh, the artist just takes the words and says, yay, I'll put it wherever I want. But it's not. It's really a lot on the writer telling them, hey, this is the picture that I want to paint, and I don't want just a tree. I want like an old spooky tree with falling leaves. Like, you have to really English this, right? And that was never my favorite subject.
I know what I do is I do like a little like kind of like mini sketch of like what I like believe it would be in there, and then I like under it I do like a detailed description.
Yeah, nice.
So I have like a little physical copy, and then like I have like a little online script where it's like full detail.
Right.
To make it more like to give like kind of like my like what I'm looking at. That way it's not just words that they're transcribing.
Nice, awesome. All right, we'll move down to the next artist and
Hello.
take you away from your hard work right now. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
So what story did you do this year? Pages 10 and 15?
Yes, this one right here.
Okay. Do you want to describe a little bit about your story?
It's basically the story is like kind of some world building I did for a project in my creative writing class that I wanted to do a little short story about. So I just took one of the characters that like me and my friends made together and made a little short story for him. He's basically like an alien line cook on this like kind of space station restaurant thing. And it's just him kind of like it's a little bit of a slice of life. Just him having like a normal day in the kitchen.
Right.
And he makes a few mistakes along the way and maybe ends up setting some things on fire. But yeah, it's just,
I love that. So first of all, my favorite manga and anime to read and watch are slice of life. So a story like this is really something I love because it's so fun to see not just regular characters, but like fantasy or sci-fi characters just live a normal life and deal with normal problems. And so I think that's really fun to see and have such like a everyman character to follow along with, even if it's not in an everyday type life situation.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
Sure.
no problem. And so what about you? Like, where do you get a lot of your inspiration from? Like, what do you have certain forms of media you prefer, or?
I'm definitely a big sci-fi person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really into a lot of like sci-fi shows. I'm actually not a super avid comic reader. I've been getting more into it, obviously, but I've just always really liked drawing, and I feel like there's a lot of overlap between like comics and sci-fi. So that's kind of, I guess, something that I get it from. But yeah, I'm a big fan of like Star Trek and like
nice.
Farscape, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's really good Star Trek, and I think I've seen some Farscape comics too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the comics club, is definitely a way, like a gateway drug into comics? Like,
Yeah.
you get to be around a bunch of other people that are into all these different areas of media, so you get to kind of explore some of theirs, right?
To me, for sure, yeah. I think that one of the big things that is actually getting me into comics was joining the club. So, because we have like all these events, like obviously like here we're at Comicpalooza and stuff, and there's so many like comic related things that we do. So that's definitely been getting me more into comics.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely. Do you have a certain comic that you're into right now, or that you've kind of been thinking about?
I recently bought a Firefly comic that I haven't read it yet, but I've been really excited to read it.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that's one for sure.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. Firefly's a good. I know a lot of people love Firefly.
Yeah.
And so you talked about Comicpalooza. Is this your first time being here, or have you been here before?
Yeah, it's my first time at like any convention, basically.
Oh, so this is like first convention. What
Yeah.
about everyone else? First convention, or?
I think this is my second. I came here last year for the first time.
Oh, you came here last year. I'm sorry. I don't think I recognized you.
This is my like 10th, I think.
Ew, you're 10th? So you've been coming here since you were born?
Not 10th Comicpalooza, 10th convention.
Oh, okay.
This is my second Comicpalooza, but I
Okay.
go to a lot of like Convo conventions.
Okay, nice, great. So I guess this is more for you than coming to something like Comicpalooza, never seen another convention. What was your first reaction to being here?
I was basically just really excited because like everyone's all dressed up and there's just like it's like overload with a lot of stuff that I like.
Right.
Like there's so many things that I recognize and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So
So-
I'm having a great time.
That's good. And I think Comicpalooza likes to hear that. One, you guys have a great table. You're right here in the front walkway
Yeah.
where everybody's coming by. They get to see y'all. Hopefully people have been talking to y'all a lot. And just getting to see your table is always really fun. And so welcome to Comicpalooza.
Yay. Thank you.
And then we'll move down the line here to our last artist today. And I'm sorry, which in the anthology, which one did you
16
do?
and 17.
16 and 17. Let me scooch on down that way. Oh, this is a nice little 2-pager.
Yeah.
And so what's this character that we're looking at today?
Well, I don't really have the entire plot filled out yet, but this was originally supposed to be an 8-page comic.
Oh,
But,
okay.
I kind of miscalculated my time and wasn't able to finish it. I have all the sketches roughed down, but I didn't include them in there because they weren't ready yet.
Yeah.
But this is kind of the beginnings of a kind of break-in. She's climbing up this really high building, and she's using her magical powers to break in and look for some information that she needs to find.
It's a really cool design for a character. I really like this with the mask and the goggles. Looks really, really cool, actually.
Thank
I like
you.
the aesthetic. So you talked about you wanted this to be an 8-page, but time kind of got away from you.
Yeah.
Working with the Comics Club, does like trying to work with time management and do normal school things,
Yeah.
like has that helped you with this at all, or?
Well, being in the club, right, it's a really great experience. Me and Trevor are presidents of the club.
Oh, nice.
And what we do in the first semester is we talk all about making comics, different like formatting, how to panel, how different things can change the emotions. He talks more about the writing aspect, and I talk more about the drawing aspect.
That's really awesome, and that's good. That's like teamwork right there. That's how you collab to make things better. And are y'all working on a story together, or?
Not right now, no, but maybe. Yeah, it'll probably happen.
I feel like you guys got good teamwork out here today, the way y'all talk with each other and everything. So there you go. It all starts. Networking starts now. And so that's really cool. So with you said this is your second year at Comicpalooza
Yeah.
this year. How does it feel as a presenter going from your first time at a convention to now? Do you feel more nervous, more excited?
I think coming in, I knew a lot of what was going to happen. So I got a lot more excited than I did last year. Last year, I was kind of nervous. I didn't know what the convention was going to be like. It's a pretty long drive from my house. But once I got here, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I was only allowed to stay for like an hour or two last year, but this year I've been here every single day.
Every
And
single
I'm
day,
going
yeah.
to continue being here until tomorrow.
That's really awesome. Have y'all had a chance to go explore a little bit, or
Yeah.
is he making you stay here? Is he holding you against your will? It's okay. You're in a safe space now. He can't hurt you. No. School is out. You don't have to listen to him anymore.
Well, no, we haven't. We've kind of gotten up and gone and checked everything out. We took pictures of the giant appa that's over down there.
Oh yes, I saw the appa. That was so cool.
It was really cool. We're actually gonna go see a panel later. The illustrator for Invincible, he's having a comic at 11:40.
Oh, Ryan Otley. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Ryan Otley.
Yes, Ryan Otley's here. Chip Zdarsky is also here. And I think, to me, that's one of my favorite things, especially for you guys, creators, getting to see big-name creators where they're so accessible. You know, you can walk up to their table, say hi, and even ask them a question, which I think is great for you guys.
Yeah.
Talk about your experience with that.
Oh yeah. When we first got here, we were setting up our table and like talking to a few people, and Wheels Over is Nick Patera.
Oh,
he
wow.
gives us his hard copy of his Axe Wielder John book.
Okay.
And he talks about it, and he's like talking to us. He's like, "Come find me later, and I'll sign it for you." And so we found him at the end of the convention, and we were able to get his signature. He talked a lot about art advice with me.
Mm-hmm.
He like talked about perspective and all sorts of stuff like that. It was a really great experience. He sat there with us for like 30 minutes.
That's so cool. Man, that's so wonderful, you know. And I think the comics community is a wonderful place like that, top to bottom, not even just for like us down here in the slums, what I call it, like trying to work our way up, but even creators from like the top companies, they're not afraid to share stuff with you guys, because I think it's only going to make the art, the medium better, is if we all work together. And so that's great. And that's what I think I love most about the Comics Club that Ben over here helps with, is it creates such a community for you guys and gets y'all, one, working with networking, because I think that's one of the most important things, learning to work with other people, and then getting out here to see and work with other creatives. I think that's a great thing.
It's awesome. Yeah. Being in the Comics Club is like such a great opportunity, especially with helping teach people about comics. You have to dive into a bunch of research about what really makes comics comics.
Right.
How can you tell a story, and like what could it be about?
Mm.
Right. We have to talk to all the people there and present all this in like slideshows and different things like that. Trevor, he usually helps with a lot of the presentations and like a lot of the talking mostly. I help out a lot with the presentations and talking as well, but he mostly does a lot of the talking.
That's good.
I do like the information.
Yeah.
Does the info, yeah. So I see our two artists have two different forms of drawing media here. Someone has electronic and another one's doing pen and paper. So what's better?
I personally prefer like traditional art. I do digital as well, and I think both are good in different ways, but for me, I'm more used to traditional, and I just find that my art tends to look better when I'm doing it with a pen and paper. But
that's fun.
I do a lot of traditional work as well. I'm trying to dive more and get better and better at cartooning, because me and Ben were both in AP art, and it's really fun because you have to do 12 pieces. You don't have to do 12 pieces, but you have to present 12 pieces in a portfolio.
Okay.
Throughout the year.
Yeah.
And so you have to do a bunch of painting through the entire year, and it's kind of hard. Like one every 2 weeks you have to have done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a job. That's not fun. That's a job. No.
Yeah, you can, halfway through the year, you can see everyone going like, and just kind of sitting there all slummed out.
Yeah. So with your club, with some of the other students, is everyone in a art program, or are there people from all over?
No, there's people from all over. Anyone can come to the club that wants to come to the club, which is really great.
Nice. All right, we'll take it back down over here. And then one of my favorite things I like to ask people, so what's been your favorite thing at Comicpalooza so far?
Starting off with the difficult questions. Okay, I see.
No, you got to pick one thing. There can only be one.
I know, I'm trying to decide. Oh, yeah, I met a YouTuber I follow, just randomly. That was probably my favorite thing. It's like the cool panels and just meeting random people there.
Yeah.
Because we usually I was walking by a panel, I went, I know that guy. So I sat down, guy was sitting next to was just someone I knew.
Yeah, that's
But,
really cool.
It's crazy.
You got to have a fun conversation, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's like meeting a celebrity, right?
Yeah, it was
All
really
right.
cool.
Move down to Ben over here. What's been your favorite thing at Comicpalooza so far?
Oh, that is a very hard question. I mean, I guess just like seeing all of the people here. Like, there's so many different interesting like cosplays and like, you know, just like in general, I feel like it's just a lot of like cool stuff going on. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's a vague answer, but
No.
you
So
know.
when you see cosplays, like which series or what show do you light up the most when you see that cosplay?
Probably I've seen a lot of Star Trek cosplays, which is really cool. Earlier I saw two people in Critical Role cosplays.
Oh, really?
Which is like a D&D show that I really like. But they were like, I don't know if you know, but they're cosplaying as Jester and Ford, who are like, Jester is completely blue and Ford is completely green, so they had like full body paint on.
Oh, wow.
And the cosplays were really cool, so I was like, dang, like that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then we'll move down to the last. What's been your favorite thing at Comicpalooza so far?
Probably meeting Nick Patera, honestly.
It's hard to top.
Yeah.
It's a really cool thing.
Like the 30 minutes or maybe like 20 minutes that he talked to me and Trevor, and like he was so like informative. He like talked about a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and he was just such a nice guy. He was
That's so
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome, guys. I want to thank y'all so much for taking the time to talk with me today. Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun too. It's great what you guys are doing. I love seeing this every year. And I guess we'll leave this episode with one last thing for the new students coming in. What is one piece of advice that you give to them?
New students coming into Comics Club, or just in
Comics
general?
Club or in general? What? You can tell them, hey, join the Comics Club. That's the best piece of advice I can give you.
Just in general, just do what you want. If you want to go into art, pursue that passion, like hobby, do whatever you want to do with it. If it's junior year specifically, study hard. It's very cruel.
Yeah, I have to say, like, yeah, join Comics Club, number one. Number two, I guess, yeah, I don't know, just kind of the same thing you said, like, find something at school that you're actually passionate about. Like, it's good to focus on your coursework, but it's also good to find, like, those little things, like making comics or art or theater or whatever that you really enjoy that you can do in your free time.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Mine is a little bit similar to those. It's find something you like doing. Like, try a bunch of different things. Like, I joined so many clubs, tried so many different clubs, and now I'm in like 6 different things, but I love doing all of them. So it's like, this might sound like a little bit bad, but it's okay. Just don't tell me human like I said this. And that's, your academics, of course, they're important, but they shouldn't be they shouldn't kill you. They shouldn't be what kills you. So like, find things you love doing, and of course, focus on academics, but like, don't let them destroy you.
Right. No, I agree with that. I think do the things you like, do the things you love, and the things that need to get done will find a way, right?
Yeah.
Right. And plus, if you can turn the thing you love into the thing that is your career, then you'll never work a day in your life, right?
Yeah.
That's what everyone. It's cliche, but it's true. Okay. As someone who was born way before you guys ever were, let me tell you, it's the truth. Okay. All those cliches that your grandparents and parents tell you. But thank you guys so much, and good luck for the rest of the convention for you guys.
Thank you.